Hello everybody, Brian here from Class A Plus English, and today we're going to continue with 80 Days, a steampunk adaptation of the famous Jules Verne novel Around the World in 80 Days with Phileas Fogg, and I am the character of Passepartout, his valet, his butler, his right-hand man. I hope you're well. It is the 28th of September. Where does the time go, eh? It's nearly October already. What does October mean? It means Halloween. Yay. What are we going to do today? We're going to jump into the game. No, let's do a word of the day first of all. Let me just jump onto the internet. I was going to do this first. Here we are. Word of the day.
Kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle. Kerfuffle. What is kerfuffle? It's an informal word that refers to a disturbance or fuss, typically caused by a dispute or conflict. There was a kerfuffle in the office yesterday about, who stole the sandwich. The reclassification of Pluto from a planet to a dwarf planet caused quite a kerfuffle among astronomy lovers. So it's like a small, well, not necessarily small, it's just a synonym of like an argument, disturbance, kerfuffle. Yeah, it's a nice word, kerfuffle. It comes from Scottish, old Scottish fuffle, to muse or to throw into disarray. In other words, to ruffle someone's feathers. Ooh, nice expression. To ruffle someone's feathers, meaning, to annoy them. Anyway, there we go. That was kerfuffle. We are going to San Francisco, and let me quote some lyrics. San Francisco in California, famous for hippies, the Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz, I suppose you could say. Yeah, the famous prison. Here we go. And to quote Scott McKenzie in his 1967 classic hippie song, "If you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. If you're going to San Francisco, you're going to meet some gentle people there. For those who come to San Francisco, summertime will be a lovin' there in the streets of San Francisco. Gentle people with flowers in their hair." So let's let's find out. Excuse me, I'm coughing. We're going to San Francisco, so be sure to wear flowers in your hair, everybody. I should have got some myself. I'm really sorry I didn't. It's Sunday and I was working this morning, so I didn't have time. And hang on, let me turn on the volume. Okay, here we go. So if you remember, Captain Wang, I think there was a mutiny on the boat. We stole the ship basically in Hawaii. There was a mutiny, we won. We took control, and we arrived in San Francisco. Okay, first plan is to... Okay, so this is the game. We have to go around the world in 80 days. We're on day 58. You can see the time is moving in real time. We have £3,000, so we're doing well. And we're doing it for a bet. This is my boss. This is Fogg, Phileas Fogg. He's at 85, so he's pretty happy. I think we should spend the night in... we'll spend the night in San Francisco in a hotel. We'll pass the night here. This is an interesting word, to pass. I was explaining to students during the week. My friends say to me, "Hey Brian, let's go to the bar and watch Liverpool play Galatasaray." I think we're playing Galatasaray this week in the Champions League on Tuesday or Wednesday. And I'm tired. I've been working all day. I've been teaching the world. So what do I say? I say, nah. I think I'll give it a pass. I'll give it a pass. Next time. It's a nice way of saying no, to give something a pass. Okay, San Francisco seemed less a city and more a ravenous beast, bent on consumption of everything, even of itself. Oh my God. But what about the girls with flowers in their hair? Within the ever-expanding city limits. Okay, we have enormous steam-powered drills and diggers, flattened hills. The building works made it tricky to talk to everyone. Of course, this is not 1967. This is 1870 something, 1879 was it? And of course, when was the gold rush? Hang on. Sorry, it's Sunday. I couldn't do my usual 11 o'clock stream today because I was working. Polish people were demanding lessons. I had 2 Polish students this morning. When was the gold rush? When was the Californian gold rush? I'm already going off script here. 1848. Okay, the peak years was 1849 to 1852. It's really, really crazy. 300,000 people. The 49ers refers to mass immigrants who arrived. Was a minor 49er. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, my darling Clementine, right? Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling. There is some really it's a really interesting story, you know, about how the gold rush, people traveled from all over the world. Like San Francisco went from, you know, 5,000 people to 300,000 people in like 2 years or something. It went absolutely crazy. And I was just thinking, of course, that's where Levi's jeans comes from, isn't it? All right. So we don't have girls with flowers in their hair or hippies with flowers in their hair. We've got building going on. It's probably late gold rush times. So we've got 2 choices. Enormous steam powered drills. A drill. And diggers to dig the machines. And they flattened hills. The building works made it tricky. Made it difficult to talk to anyone. It's tricky. I did an exam yesterday. It was a bit tricky. It was tricky to talk to anyone. Such was the infernal constant noise. I went towards Chinatown to eat. It was a warren of crowded wooden and brick houses, temples, business, herbalists, laundries and market stalls selling fruit and flowers. Durian fruit. I'll explain durian fruit in a second. Let's have a look. So I went on to, sorry, I'm in a bit of a mood for the internet today. Let's go for, I was looking at this earlier on, right? San Francisco, here we go everyone, look, California. Here we are. I've never been to San Francisco, but look, it looks very green, a huge park. Of course, there's the Golden Gate Bridge, of course, the famous bridge. Chinatown, Turk Street, O'Farrell Street, Japantown, Panhandle, Haight-Ashbury. That was the hippie place, wasn't it? A lot of different names, so you can see there was obviously a lot of immigration. Chinatown's over here somewhere. Chinatown. Come on, give us some photos. Right, it's the Chinese Cultural Center. Alright, that's pretty boring. Chinatown. €55. That's not bad. 2-star, like. Okay, we've got the dragons and stuff. Yeah, let's have a look at some photos from Chinatown. San Francisco. Kites, of course, very famous with Chinese. The Chinese. I presume that's the cultural center. So I'm getting very arty. Lots of cars, lots of Teslas. Of course, Silicon Valley is in San Francisco, isn't it? Yeah, parades. That looks kind of boring. Church. More processions. You got the typical pagoda style architecture. Where's Silicon Valley? Silicon Valley, California. All right. All right. So it's not that. It's not really San Francisco. It's San Jose. Yeah, St. Joseph. Palo Alto, of course, famous. A lot of places I've never been, but I recognize the names. You know what I mean? So it's quite nice. Would I like to go to San Francisco? Not really, but if somebody bought me a ticket, for sure I'd go. You know. So if anybody out there wants to introduce me to San Francisco and its charms, please get in touch. All right. I went towards Chinatown to eat. So it's a warren, a rabbit warren, lots of alleyways, you know, narrow alleyways, crowded, temples, businesses, herbalists. The hustle and bustle, yeah, of this area. You can almost hear it, can't you? Brightly coloured lanterns illuminated the streets. I regarded the people with some interest. I was interested in conversation. I wanted only to eat. God damn it, I want to eat. So I found a street vendor and bought a portion of noodles in a thick, pungent sauce served with freshly caught shrimp. Okay, so shrimp is an American word. I would say prawns. Prawns, gambas in Spanish. I don't know the word in any other languages, I'm afraid. For some reason, Americans say shrimp. I would say prawns. A stroke of culinary luck. A stroke of luck is good fortune, yeah? It was a stroke of luck. The man next to me nodded. You like it? He asked. I smiled and nodded. Indeed I do, I replied. Indeed I do. He chuckled, ha ha ha, and smoothed his crisp shirt. Many of my friends, they say, Lynn, you don't do foreigners. You wear... Oh, no, I'm not going to do a Chinese accent, don't worry. You wear their clothes, and I say to them, I am an American now, and you are too. He pointed at a young man with his hair in a queue. A young man with his hair in a queue. Look at him with his old-fashioned hair. There is a law against it here, but he wears it like that. The fool! What a ridiculous law. But that is your tradition. Why is there a law against it? I asked. It hurts no one. I was actually reading something this week about like the English when they like kind of controlled Ireland. They banned a hairstyle. They banned a certain hairstyle in Ireland in I think it was like 16th century, because it was barbarian and it scared the English. I don't remember what the name of it was or anything, but yeah, they banned a hairstyle. What a ridiculous law, but that is your tradition. Why is there a law against it? It hurts no one, surely. We must let go of our old culture. Like sand in my hand. Lynn counseled, we are Americans now. But you are Chinese American. Why did they make such a law? Of course, there was a huge Chinese immigration to San Francisco. China, San Francisco, Pacific. And of course they built the railways, didn't they? They built the railways. The Irish and the Chinese, I believe. The navigators. Why did they make such a law? Lynn looked at me with the pity of a wise man for a patent fool. Because they want us to become like them, of course, he shrugged. The sooner, the better. All right. I think the Chinese were badly mistreated in San Francisco. I'm on fine form, but we must make haste. I want to go to the market. It's 7 o'clock. No, we have to wait. We have to wait. I can make a lot of money in the market. Okay, now we can go to the market. £270. Boom. 2, 4, nothing. 5, 11. San Pedro. Okay, we need to go to San Pedro. Guns, everybody. Okay, we're buying a gun for sure. First thing I do when I get to America is I'm going to buy a gun. Ooh, got top hat. Set it. Although, what's this? Inscribed with markings describing a recording of a symphony. Valuable in Chicago, Houston, and Regina. Let's buy it. Dusty road. Country roads, take me home. How much is it? Don't need that. I don't think we need this either, yeah. Alright, we got the gun. Rest and recuperation. Hat. Now, we've got one suitcase, right? Do we need goggles? Nah. Okay, we've got $3,000. We've got 3,000. That's pretty good. Let's get the hell out of here. San Pedro. Albuquerque. Alright. Salt Lake City. Utah. Cheyenne. Omaha. Burlington. Let's explore. We can try to make some more routes. I've heard there are many immigrants in San Francisco, says Elena. I knew a man who once took the Transcontinental Express. I sloped towards recently constructed Long Bridge, which was crowded with families out for a stroll and people fishing for silvery smelt with long poles. I sloped towards... No. It's crowded with families out for a stroll. Out for a stroll. To go for a stroll is to go for a walk, you know? Like, I walk to work, but like, when I walk to work, I'm going A to B. Boom. But like on a Sunday afternoon, you know, you go for a stroll. Yeah. I'm going hiking this afternoon. After this stream, I'm going climbing a mountain. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's not a stroll. That's not a stroll in the park. If something's really easy... How was the exam? It was a stroll in the park, meaning it was very, very easy, not difficult at all. So to go for a stroll, to go for a wander, maybe you go to a new city, you go on Ryanair, the fantastic company, you know, and you fly on a really cheap flight and you go to, I don't know, Alicante, the home of Class A Plus English, which I hope you are going to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel, everybody. I know, but it's important. So it will really help me if you can do that. Yeah, cheers. Let's look in the water. Don't look in the water. There was a jangle of rowing boats racing each other and boatmen taking passengers out to Mission Rock. Cheers and good-natured shouts emitted from a halfway house in the middle of the bridge. I peered at the halfway house and surmised from the revels I saw spilling out from its doors that it was the manner of a drinking den. Excuse me. A drinking den. A shebeen. A pub. A man, red-faced and somewhat the worse for drunk, bumped into me. I excused myself politely. I shoved him away to shove. Get away from me. Muttering under my breath about the uncouthness of certain people, the rudeness. To be uncouth is another word for rude, yeah? Oh, hello, he explained. You don't sound like you are from around here. I gave him a freezing look. Okay, here's a freezing look. Yeah? Did you freeze? It's alright, don't worry. I'm not serious, I was only joking. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. He's Scandinavian. Alright. No matter, I was Dutch once. Dutch. Someone who is Dutch is from a country we know as the Netherlands or Holland. We have some nice expressions in English with Dutch. To go Dutch. So I go for lunch. So I go out for lunch. I'm with Rihanna, you know, and myself and Rihanna, we go out for lunch, and Rihanna's like, Brian, no, this time you're always paying for lunch, Brian. I love your YouTube channel and everything, because Rihanna does subscribe, I believe, and she loves this YouTube channel, but she said to me like that, you know, I'm always paying for lunch, and this time she wants to go Dutch. And I said, no, Rihanna, don't be silly, let me pay. And she's, no, Brian, I insist, I want to go Dutch. So what does to go Dutch mean? It means to split the bill 50-50. Yeah, let's go Dutch. If you're going to buy something with a friend, let's go Dutch. The other word is, well, the other expression would be Dutch courage. Now, Dutch courage, it's an interesting one. We should look into the etymology of this, but I think I've said it before when I was doing that hot air balloon in Cappadocia in Turkey. I was doing the big hot air balloon in the morning, and I was really scared because I was worried I might completely freak out and completely humiliate myself by like screaming and crying and demanding to get off when we are, you know, 80,000 feet in the air. So I was talking to this Argentinian lad, and so at like, I don't know, 5:30 in the morning or something, we did a couple of chupitos in Spanish, yeah, some shots. I don't remember what it was, tequila, vodka, whiskey, I don't remember. But we did these really early in the morning before we both went on the hot air balloon for Dutch courage. And for Dutch courage means to use alcohol to kind of make you brave. Be an interesting one. Shall we look into it? Shall we quickly look into it? I don't know. Why? Etymology of Dutch. I imagine the army, the soldiers, were drinking alcohol before a battle or something. I imagine that's what it is. Have a look. Dutch courage refers to the confidence or bravery gained from consuming alcohol. So this is what myself and that Argentinian guy were doing. The phrase originated during periods of rivalry and war between England and the Netherlands, specifically dating back to the 17th century. One popular theory is that English soldiers observed Dutch troops drinking gin before battle, believing it imbued them with bravery and anesthetized them against the cold. Some accounts also suggest English troops themselves adopted this habit, taking Dutch gin for calm before fighting. I imagine this happened a lot, you know. I think like back in the day, you know, like a lot back in the olden times, battles were really scary places, you know. The phrase was originally a derogatory term. It was very negative, used by the English in reference to the Dutch and their supposed reliance on alcohol for courage. Nothing wrong with that, I say. It reflected the ethnic prejudices and political rivalry, blah 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 blah. Dutch, double Dutch, to speak double Dutch. This is true. If I don't know what someone is saying to me, we say double Dutch. He's talking double Dutch. Or Dutch uncle. I don't know what a Dutch uncle is. Today, Dutch courage is understood to mean courage or boldness induced by alcohol consumption and often appears in informal speech as a liquid courage. I don't know. Maybe you have to make some kind of speech, at a wedding or something like that. Yeah, you're the best man. You need to make a speech and you're really, really nervous. So, you might drink some alcohol for Dutch courage, I suppose is how you would say it. Yeah. Anyway, for me it worked. I was completely calm on that balloon flight. Yeah, I really was completely chilled out. It's what you do when you drink kind of, vodka at 6 o'clock in the morning. All right. No matter, I was Dutch once, says the man, the uncouth man, in a past life, but now I am as American as President Grant. This is a land of newcomers. You are a prospector. That would be the gold rush, yeah? I am a traveler. I am a magician. I am a valet. Valet. Notice the pronunciation, everybody. Valet, no. I am a man of culture and class, and I enjoy going to the ballet. The ballet, not ballet. Spanish students in particular. I stayed at the hotel and there was the most amazing breakfast buffet. Buffet, not buffet. Spanish students, pronunciation. And it's getting colder in the evenings. I might have to take out the duvet, not the duvet. Okay? All right. I am a traveler. I am a magician. I'm a magician. I'm a magician, I said seriously. His eyebrow raised. Then do a trick. I told him to think of a number. To double it, add 14, treble that, subtract 24, divide by 6, and to subtract the number he first thought of. When I then, for God's sake, I have to do it. All right, let's think of a number. 2, double it, 4, add 14, 16, treble that, 16, 32, 48. Subtract 24 is 24, divide by 6. 6, 12, 18, 4. It's 2. Ah, shit, what? And to subtract the number he first thought of. Alright, it's 4. When I held up 4 fingers, he declared in return that he was innumerate. Okay, so he can't count. I don't think that was right. I think it was 2, yeah? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not the most mathematically minded person. A brown-skinned woman slipped her arm into his. I regarded her. I looked for an introduction. Who's that? Ah, my manners. He shook his ruddy face. I am Anders, and this is my wife Jenny. That is a beautiful jacket. A pleasure to meet you. I kissed her hand. She was surprised but smiled. Always a pleasure to meet Anders. Friends? She looked askance at the whiskey flask in his hands but seemed to find me unobjectable. So she didn't really bother with me. She didn't mind me. I hesitated the obvious question about her origins on the tip of my tongue. On the tip of my tongue. Okay, so if something's on the tip of my tongue, it's like I can't quite think of it. What's her name? I met her last week. Oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Is it Maria? Is it Mary? Is it Maura? I don't remember, but it's on the tip of my tongue. I swallowed. Are you? I swallowed back the question. I held my tongue. Are you? I let my rather uncouth question trail off in embarrassment. Ha ha! She laughed with full-throated pleasure. I am of the Modoc tribe, what the new Americans call Indians. Jenny rolled her eyes. I do not mind your surprise. Most of my tribe has been taken to the Klamath Reservation in Oregon. What's a reservation? She looked at me with utter astonishment. She's completely surprised. They are ... tracts of land where the First Peoples are relocated when the whites decided they want the gold, the silver, the coal, the buffalo in our homelands. Anders whispered something into Jenny's ear and she laughed. Ha ha! Though I feared I had opened an old wound with my prying questions. To prise. If you're prying, it's unwelcome questions. You know, you're prying for information. I nodded and found my way back to Monsieur Fogg, who was sitting drinking tea with disconsolate frown. It tastes like soup, he remarked, but would say no more. His character is now zestful, so he's full of energy, yeah, he's happy. I made a mistake last week. I was talking about bitter Cass and how much I enjoyed it. I called it an energy drink. It's not an energy drink. I was mistaken. It's just sin alcohol, no alcohol, no caffeine, just a bitter drink. It's very, very nice though, I have to say, and this is not sponsored by Cass, yeah? But I thought, when I saw it, I thought it was an energy drink. Quite delicious though. Jenny, alright, so Fogg is happy. Alright, what time is it? 7:50 p.m. Let's go to the hotel. Before turning in, before going to sleep for the night, I went to stretch my legs. I went for a stroll. And stretched my legs where I saw a charming Irish errand boy in a raging argument with a shopkeeper. That's racist. They're saying that Irish people are always arguing and fighting with people. Okay, an errand boy. So he does odd jobs. He's a tea boy. Goes gets the tea. Goes and makes the tea. Goes and buys the milk in this shop. Yeah, in a raging argument with a shopkeeper, from which I learned a confrontation I chose to avoid. No, let's get involved. Which I learned it can sometimes be prudent, it can be wise not to get involved. I departed with a torn shirt. Okay, so we got into a fight. Day 60, Monsieur Fogg murmured the night in his sleep, and still some distance yet... No, what? He's English. And still some distance yet to travel. Relations have deteriorated slightly. They're getting worse. Okay, he's at 92. He's grand. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. San Pedro? San Pedro. You can obtain cotton flowers you can sell in San Francisco. New Orleans can be reached aboard the Texas and Pacific Railway. Oh, New Orleans. Okay, we're going to San Pedro. The luggage rack has space for 2 suitcases, which is ample, plenty. Baking sunshine, so it's really hot. Uncomfortable conditions and mild seas. This looks like a wearisome journey. Okay, it's going to be tiring, but the salve of arnica from our rest and recuperation set should see us right. Go! Sorry, I was just about to leave. Alright, we're going by boat. We went down to the wharf to find a route onwards, but it took us a few attempts to find a sailor who looked sober. Sober? Sober is the opposite of drunk. Yeah, so somebody who isn't drunk is sober. Difficult word, I don't really know what it means myself. Though whether the more grizzled men and women we passed by were actually intoxicated or simply wind-blown and sun-swept was hard to say. We settled into a fishing boat whose name was Salvador, piloted by a Hispanic lady. I named it after my husband, she told, as she slipped the painter and we pushed out into the water. I don't know what that means. She named after him, so he's obviously dead. It's a fine boat. She smiled gently, a teary look in the corner of her eye. He was not a bad man. He did not deserve his fate, senor. I gulped, but we were too far from the shore to turn back. All right, we're going to get a story, everyone. Converse. Greetings, Captain Dolores. Hold on tight now, Passepartout. All right, tell me about San Pedro. Let me tell you, one can travel aboard the Salt Lake and San Pedro Railway from San Pedro to Salt Lake City. What about San Pedro to Dallas? Dun, 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 dun. You mentioned trains. I've been told Atlanta is linked to Washington aboard the Piedmont Airline. Dallas to Dakar, Senegal. Nangadef. A little bit of Wolof there for you, everyone. No idea, but now the loss of the slave trade has hit Senegal hard. Oh, and now anyway, I don't even like fish, do you? Yes, no, I don't like fish. If I ever see another fish, I will be sour, and then tomorrow comes and there are more. Alright, tell me about Dakar. Let me tell you, the quickest way to Dakar from here is to go via Bogota, Colombia. No. Freetown, Liberia. I don't know, but listen, I've heard it's a town founded by ex-slaves. Okay. No markets exist in Salvador. Goodbye. Las Vegas! Salt Lake City, everybody. New Orleans. Atlanta, Georgia. I reckon that's the best route, yeah? Atlanta. San Pedro. Atlanta. The boat scudded through the water, roughly following the sandy coastline and rocky cliffs of the shore. Do you make this journey often, madame? I asked. How long have you lived in California? I looked out across the water. Do you make this journey often? I asked. Maybe she will say, on a weekly basis. Yeah, once a week. Or maybe she will say, on a monthly basis. Once a month. Let's find out. No, she answered. Mostly I fish to San Francisco Bay, but I don't mind the change. Okay, I'm going to look out across the water. She's going to start telling me about her dead husband. I looked out across the water at the coast passing by, once more struck by its vast size, and yet every inch was being struggled over all the time. Damn it, I keep missing those. The second day, Captain Dolores stayed at the tiller through lashing rain. Lashing rain, nice. Now, often students will know the expression, it's raining cats and dogs, right? So like, oh no, we're not going to go and have the picnic in the park because it's raining cats and dogs. But native speakers don't really use this expression. It's kind of a comedy sentence, you know what I mean? But students love it, and I think teachers always teach it because it's such a strange expression. It's raining cats and dogs. But I'm from the west of Ireland, you know, so we have a lot of rain in Ireland, and this would be a very typical expression for hard rain. It's lashing outside. It's pouring. I pour a glass of water, but we also say when it's raining a lot, it's pouring rain outside. I'm not going out. I'm not going for a stroll. It's pouring out there. Or, definitely in Ireland, it's lashing. It's lashing rain. Alright, so it's lashing rain that kept my master huddled below the rough tarpaulin cover. I made my position, working the jib sail harder. I don't know what that means. Let's go for it. Water slicked the deck and made my fingers icy cold, only for the ropes to burn them as the wind pulled this way and that. More than once I was all but hauled overboard, and indeed was one time only saved, or ... It took all my considerable dexterity to remain upright. Yes, I have to concentrate. The storm lasted well into the evening, and we lost several hours, but finally the wharf at San Pedro came into view. "We land!" called Dolores. "Take the tiller!" I think the tiller is the thing you direct the ship with, I don't know. Which way should I steer her? To steer. If you're in a car, this is the steering wheel. So yeah, you turn it to change direction, to steer. So you steer a boat as well. Hey Keddy, how's it going? The cat's walking around underneath, making sure I am aware of her presence. Which way should I steer her? I begged. But my words were lost on the wind. And the captain had already dived overboard, painter in her hand. I don't know what painter is. She was surely lost. I grabbed to haul her back, being a hero, and began to tug, only for her to surface a moment later, swimming madly. I went for the tiller, looping the rope over it, and watched as the captain pulled herself ashore. There she looped the rope through an anchor ring and hauled us in, it should be. We docked and secured ourselves with 3 more lines. "Madame, that was quite a dangerous move." I got myself and my master ashore. And as fast as I could too, I swore we would never travel with a fisherman, or a fisherwoman, please, again. "I'm in roaring health, but we must make haste." We gotta go quick. San Pedro. What do they want? £430. 35. What do we got? Dusty Road, urban, cotton flower. No. 120, 93. Let's buy some stuff then. We've got a lot of money, I think. Let's buy flour, yeah. We've still got 3 grand, yeah? I've got a gun, we don't need any more. Okay. What did I say? Atlanta, yeah? Tomorrow at 9:04. Okay, pirates frequently hijack airships heading into the Caribbean. We're going to New Orleans, baby! Okay, let's spend the night. Let's go to the hotel. We'll pass the night in San Pedro. There's bound to be some songs about San Pedro, right? We were staying near the wharf, near the port, looking out over the rolling Pacific Ocean in the Newtown area of San Pedro. And hang on a second. Yeah, let's take a walk into the old town. But found it largely a wasted trip through the streets though the streets were laid out in a well-ordered grid, the plots themselves were mostly empty, either half-built or half-taken down. Notice there, though, as contrast, yeah? I decided to take a walk, but found it like it was a wasted time, though, yeah? I went to the restaurant. The food was fantastic, but it was quite expensive, though. So it's similar to although and even though as contrast, but generally it's for spoken English, and we put it at the end of the sentence, yeah? I was really tired, but I went to the party, though. So there's that contrast, yeah? Alright, so it's kind of a dump, this place, yeah? Presumably this place was dying in the wake of the ending of the gold rush, coming alive with the building of the railway in a state of some transition. Let's go for the first one. It's dying in the wake of the gold rush. A view which the dour-faced residents seemed to share. "Alonso Horton will bring us right," one man told me firmly, strongly. "It's all about the location, you see. We tried building the city here, it didn't work. So he's rebuilding it over there." He pointed back in the direction of the water. "He's already fixed up San Diego the same way." Alright, I'm just going to move the city. And what's better about over there then? Exactly. I don't sound very believing, do I? The man shrugged. It's hard to see, but when someone has the conviction that Horton has, they must be right. Foolish words, surely, I thought. Stupid words, foolish words. But then I remembered the circumstances under which I was on this particular adventure around the world, and felt necessarily silent. I wandered a while longer, or I returned to my master. What time is it? 6:30 a.m. Let's get back. I returned to my master empty-handed from my tour of the lower districts. Sometimes there is a great lightness in being a tourist, forever leaving behind the great problems of one location and another. Very true. Let's get the hell out of here. Atlanta. New Orleans. Go. The luggage has 4. This looks like a bearable option. Let's do it. Choo-choo! And we're off, everyone. We boarded the Texas and Pacific Railway, a decent stretch of railroad by all accounts, everyone says, which joined west coast to south. It lacked the speed of an airship, but at least it was reasonably comfortable. Alright, cool. Wait. Rumblings intensify of Russo-Japanese war. That was the war the Japanese won, wasn't it, yeah? The first stretch of the railroad ran through the empty deserts of northern Mexico. I kept my eyes peeled for bandits. I ensured my master was comfortable as we travelled. Alright, hang on. Caffeine fix. As there's no caffeine in Cass, I need my caffeine. I kept my eyes peeled for bandits, yeah? I peel a potato, right? You peel a banana, you peel an orange, you peel a potato, whatever, we peel. It's a weird phrase, but like if we keep our eyes peeled, it means we are really looking out for something, yeah? We're really watching the guard, like, so I'm watching for bandits, yeah. My eyes are peeled. But saw nothing, no settlements, no people, nothing but the discarded picks and huts left over from the construction of the railroad itself. Navigator, bit of pokes there for you. Fog. Ah, Jesus, I always miss it. The train pulled jauntily into Albuquerque station, and from the window I saw, but I paid little attention. And from the window I saw Albuquerque, everybody. From the window I saw a group of gunmen spitting into spittoons as they talked by the station entrance. Albuquerque seemed, on brief glance, a lawless place. So back in the day, when everyone used to spit, you'd have these like places, these kind of, I don't know what you call them, like a pot, maybe a pot that you could spit into, spittoon. Sounds a bit nasty, doesn't it, really? It's kind of a good habit that's disappeared. Alright, so all these guys, they're armed. They're armed, they have weapons, they're gunmen. And Albuquerque seems a little bit lawless without the law. So we left it quite happily. So we jumped off the train. What shall we do, everybody? Let's just keep going. They're probably going to rob us, weren't they? The train gathered speed once more, and we were off once more. Sorry, I'm being a bit boring. Fogg, got him. Much appreciated, my Passepartout. I feel almost comfortable. Wait. The railroad turned from east to south at Dallas, which I glimpsed from the window where we did not wait long. I looked from the window. We're in Texas, everybody. and took an immediate disliking to, though I cannot pin down exactly why. So I didn't like it. I just don't know why I didn't like it. Yeah, I can't put my finger on it, would be the expression, you know. When I don't like that guy. I don't like John, but I can't put my finger on it. Like I don't know why I don't like him. It's a gut feeling, yes. A gut feeling. I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my bones. Sorry, that's a song. I'm not going to sing that song. Alright, then we moved onwards through endless prairie land towards the sun. So they're in the middle of nowhere, flat grassland of America. Converse. Greetings, Madame Black. We want to go to Atlanta. On the subject of trades, I've had my uncle design parts of the Western Atlantic Railroad from Chicago to Atlanta. Chicago to Atlanta? On the subject of trains, I've heard Chicago can reach from Winnipeg aboard the Winnipeg and Duluth Railroad. I think that's the wrong direction. What about Ponta Delgada? Have you heard that the quickest way to Ponta Delgada from here is through the Port-au-Prince in Haiti? What, Chicago to Burlington? Oh no, I've forgotten. I'm so sorry. Goodbye, Mrs. Black. New routes. Chicago. Chicago could be fun. Damn it, I missed it. The stretch of track was unremarkable. I passed the time eavesdropping. Eavesdropping is a great word. Listening in to people's conversations, to eavesdrop, yeah? So I spent the time eavesdropping, hoping to find options for our next leg, the next leg of the journey. And I picked up from another nervous Irish soldier, oh God, was he drunk and fighting again, that the Haitians in Panama City have some of the fastest aircraft in the world. But these strange ships have feathers? We entered the evening and the coastline became visible, and we entered the heady surroundings of New Orleans, my friends. Let's go to Bourbon Street. Smith & Wesson could earn us well here. Yeah, nice. $86, do it. 110. Windscarf 20, 30, 86. If I'd been in New York. 86 is gone. Maybe we'll keep that. No. Alright. Darjeeling. Interest to official farm. Alright, let's take it. Cold compress, we sold it. Trombone. Wow. Worth two. Right, we're going to New York, everybody. Yeah, we're going to New York. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it there. We're going to get a hotel. And then we will plan our operation. I met Death in a smoke red light bar in New Orleans as a jazz band stuck up another tune. He offered to buy me a bourbon. Wow. Okay, that's what you call a cliffhanger, I think. I meet Death in a bar in New Orleans and he offers to buy me a drink. Yeah, we'll pass the night here. I'm going to leave you there, everyone. We're going to... Or what? Holy Mother of Heaven! I blasphemed succinctly as some of the other patrons snickered. Death pulled off his mask to reveal handsome café au lait features and dark green eyes, and then extended a skeletal hand to me. A fine costume. You gave me a fright. You gave me a fright. My deepest apologies, monsieur. I am Death at our neighborhood Mardi Gras, and I'm practicing my role. He took my proffered hand and brought the back of it to the top of his lips for a gallant kiss. Huh? He flicked me a rather unmistakable look under his dark lashes. I returned his look. All right, come on, we can get it on here. I pretended not to see. To be so clearly desired by Death was unnerving. Yeah, I imagine it would be, you know. Death coming on to you. I found my feet shaking and stepped back. He tilted his face to the side. Do you find my colour displeasing? He asked with a lazy smile. Not that. My master will be missing me. You have a master, he replied with an amused curl to his lips. So you are a slave then? No, I am a valet, more of a companion. Valet. You, monsieur, know little of slavery. Why am I doing that accent? Death replied tersely, resuming his mask. The chill of his cold fingers on my face sent a thrill of fear through me. Abandoning dignity, I ran from the bar, nerves rattling like knuckle bones in a cup. And here comes my cat. Hi, Keddy. How's it going? Hello. You want to go out? All right. Well, we are definitely going to leave it there, everybody. We got offered a drink by Death, which is pretty cool under normal circumstances, but not on a Sunday. I think that's wrong. Okay. Well, okay. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed that. We'll continue that next week. I'm just too busy with work anymore to get any streams more during the week or anything. I'm just really, really busy. So I'm going to leave you there. If you liked it, press like, press subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember to wear flowers in your hair if you're going to San Francisco. And I am going to go now and go hiking up a mountain. So take care, and I will see you next Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.